Now, in Vietnam, the farming of bears for their bile once proved a thriving business. It is a long-standing practice which has been widely criticized in Vietnam for being inhumane, with a negative impact on the long-term survival of bears in the wild. But even with this trade declining in recent years, many bears continue to die, and the rescue often comes too late. Our correspondent Tung Ngo reports from a bear farm in the north of Vietnam.
This house used to be one of the biggest bear bile farms in Vietnam's Thái Nguyên province. But now a bear rescue operation is in full swing. It starts with a quick shot of medicine. The rescue unfolds in front of many reporters' cameras. This bear has been sedated, and these experts here are giving it a vet check. And here, those vets are fixing a little bit of teeth problem with this bear. And I'm touching a light brown patch on the chest of this bear, which is very distinctive of Asian black bear, or also known as moon bear. And this particular bear has been kept here in this farm for more than 13 years for the bear bile trade. The last 2 bears in this farm will be transferred to a bear sanctuary run by 4 Paws, an international animal welfare organization.
Quite a lot of plaque on it here, as you can see. So we need to get rid of this, remove it. So most likely we'll have to remove some teeth the next vet check. Not today, but when we are back in the sanctuary.
The price of bear bile in Vietnam has fallen 5-fold in the last 10 years. But with that comes fresh danger for the animals. With profits on the wane, a recent study has found that bear farms has resorted to starving and killing their bears because keeping them has become too costly. At its peak, this farm housed 11 bears. Now the owner wants to leave the illegal trade. He has decided not to kill his remaining bears, opting instead to send them to a sanctuary without demanding compensation, as many other farmers would. But he admits the illegal bear bile trade continues in this area.
Mua thì chắc là vẫn mua được. Bởi vì là cái nguyện vọng mua mật là nguyện vọng chính đáng, bởi vì người ta có nhu cầu về chữa bệnh chẳng hạn thì người ta mua. Thì tôi nghĩ rằng nó không khó.
While bile extraction and sale is illegal, owners are legally allowed to keep bears. Despite the falling price of bile, many owners refuse to give up their bears for free.
Và người dân ta vẫn nghĩ rằng gấu đó là cái quyền sở hữu của chúng tôi, là tôi nuôi nó rất là nhiều năm rồi, cho nên nếu bây giờ muốn trao trả lại cho nhà nước thì tôi phải được một cái số tiền đền bù nhất định.
But no more bile extraction for this bear. After a 5-hour drive, it arrives at this bear sanctuary. Here in this sanctuary, the 2 rescue bears were given names, and they are now in a quarantine area here, and we cannot get access to. But in the next 5 weeks, they will join 6 other bears in this sanctuary. In the last decade, the number of bears in captivity in Vietnam has dropped from an estimated 4,500 to some 850, with most of the bears having died or been killed. Another 300 bears are now living in sanctuaries.
It's almost going to be impossible to rescue the remaining 800 or 900 bears because we know even in the last few years that several hundred have died on farms already or have disappeared. So so the lucky ones get to come here.
In the bear sanctuary, they can't have a better life than being here. If you look into the 4 Paws sanctuary, they have really large enclosures and structured especially for Asiatic black bears. So they have a pond, a pool to swim in, they have trees to climb on, they have these climbing structures. So this is really as close as you can get a captive animal to their natural behavior.
But there will be almost no chance for them to return to the wild. These rescued bears will spend the rest of their lives in sanctuaries. They have spent about half of their 30-year life expectancy in captivity. They have lost their natural capacities to survive in the wild, where there is still a high risk of their being poached. Tung Ngo, Channel News Asia, Vietnam.